What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of This Might Get Deep. That feels so weird. Hello. I am very excited. I'm cheesing because I don't know how to act. Obviously, because I have my best friend with me.
Period.
And I'm excited for y'all to get to know her. I feel like I brought her on because I feel like people know her as a model and just like what she shows on Instagram, which is just model pictures, which be looking and eating. But I feel like people, or her silliness, because I be posting her acting crazy when we get together. But I would love for people to get to know who she is as a person and her journey, because she does have a beautiful story to tell, and even with how it aligns with who she is as a person. So she's very special to me. And so I wanted to bring her and share her with y'all. And she said she was down. So this is her first podcast.
Hello, period.
Introduce yourself. Well, did I give a good introduction? So Allie,
Yes.
Allie Cat,
That's right.
America's top model.
Amen. Clock it.
She's also the most kindest, sweetest person I know. She is also very creative outside of modeling. An educator, a sister.
Mm-hmm.
And so many more things, right? Or if I think of it, I'm going to come to them and say it.
Hello.
And beautiful.
Yes, she's
And
taking
beautiful.
it, honey. And beautiful.
Right.
Ooh, Lord.
Y'all, we in the play. We're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
It's tomorrow.
It's
By
tomorrow.
the time this come out, the play going to be passed.
It's going to be said and done. Well, where do I start? I think I'm always a little perplexed when it's time for me to tell my story, because as an adult, it veers so much from what I felt as a child.
Mm-hmm.
We're
We're not going to get into it yet, though.
Oh, period.
Because first, I want y'all to see how she fly.
Oh, hello. Clock that T.
And the
Clock
jacket.
that D.
I got her that jacket
She did give me that
for her
jacket.
birthday. So, icebreaker question. Something I'm going to be doing with the guests is, because I'm a fashion stylist, I want to tie it in. So, my icebreaker question is, how would you describe how you looking?
I'm waiting for you to give it to me, baby.
How would you describe your personal style?
I am white jeans. I mean, white tee, blue jeans.
Literally.
That's my jam. That is my base. I will always start there. Okay, y'all should start there too, especially if you know how to dress.
We're going to get into
And
it.
then I build from there.
I will say you are I'm not gonna lie, because you always keep a white tee and some jeans. Because of you, I went to Zara and I said, I remember when I was telling you I need more jeans.
Yeah,
I need
you
more
was.
jeans. Because you always got jeans.
Because you see, if you don't know what you gonna put on, if you got a different pair of jeans, you
got
can
a pair of
switch it up.
jeans, you can switch it up.
You can throw on a heel, throw on a sneaker, jacket, boom,
And just your
pow.
jeans. And now I do love a white tee. I'll do a white beater, a
Quick.
white top, a crop, love a crop.
Don't let me find a kid pack section for the wife beaters, Haynes. Just in case y'all want to sponsor my girl podcast.
No, for real, right. Haynes, we not against nobody that want to come in and sponsor.
Hello.
Okay, now I want to know, because you model, and I feel like this feel interviewed, but I'm just ice breaking.
It's okay.
You know, just ice breaking because
Give it to the people. They don't know me.
right before we get to your story, how do you think like your personal style plays a role in like who you are as a person? Do you think that's a thing? Because I can explain
do.
mine. Okay, go ahead.
I really do. I think I like to be presented as clean and neat. So I start with a white t-shirt and jeans because it's clean and neat, it's blank, and I can always build and make it as wild as I want to. Or I could close it down because the personality brings all the wildness it needs.
I like that because I think that for me, obviously, right now I'm like baggy and
Fly.
my you. But I think so when I was young, I don't know if I ever told you this.
You used to dress like a little boy.
I
And
used
they
to dress
thought you
like a
was the
boy.
stud. Uh-huh. She's
I
still
went-
dressing like a little boy.
We're gonna say all that, but
Oh. Took it too far. Told too much.
little take notch down. No, I did. I used to always dress like a boy. But I remember it was always just one pair of boy jeans that I wanted, and we went to the store. My mama would never buy me the jeans, and I always wanted the jeans, and it was because they always thought I was gonna like, end up being gay or something, which is like whatever, right? But I knew that I loved men,
Hello.
and at the time I loved Lil Bow Wow.
Didn't we all?
And so, but my style was very much how I felt, like just comfortable. I never wanted to like get attention, so I would always wear like jeans, white tee, and my pink and white Shacks or pink and white Nikes. Then I had my hair I had long hair, so my hair was just in a.
I was trying to
You see
hold
how
it.
her yeah, pick my shacks.
Skipped right over those.
Because that's all we could afford.
Shout out to the bubbles that was going to pay less.
But
please.
mind you, when they came out, I was like excited because I love basketball. So I'm like, okay, Shaq dropped. You feel me? It was like he dropped. So we was going to Payless. They had the pink and white ones, and so I really did love them until I realized that they wasn't cool.
No, them like the Team Jordans.
I didn't know, but it was like Shaq. They had just dropped. They was hot. You feel me? I would have stood in line and got a raffle. So anyway, I would wear them all the time. Mind you, that's all I could afford. So it was like I couldn't afford nothing. My mom was buying them. And my hair straight back. So that was just like how I felt. I love basketball. I love just being tomboy. I never wanted attention from boys. Even though I liked boys, I was just like, nigga, I want y'all. You know what I'm saying? And not for real, but just like I can chill with y'all. We hooping. Like it was my vibe. And I feel like that played into who I am today because I'm still very much that person that don't really like to get attention. I like to be dressed comfortable. I don't really want to show my body. You know, like just like being comfortable.
But you got it honest.
You know, the Lord has blessed me. But I just feel like that played a part into my personality and who I am. And I think clothes, the way I dress, allows me to really express who I am. Yeah. And I feel the same with you too because for you to say, every time I think of you and just in general, you in my mind, you are this person that like just always like have it together, or you present yourself like ain't nothing. You one step, two steps, like everything's in order, and so even like your face always beat, your hair always done, you always gonna get your nails done. You do like you really always be having it together, and I feel like even how you show up like. As a person that's like you gonna have it together, and even when you probably don't have it together, nobody gonna know because of how you showing up and representing yourself. Right. So I feel like that play a part. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
That do. That looped it on right on together.
Yeah. Okay. So then, how you feeling?
I feel great.
You know, I really, really thought when I was doing the podcast and planning everything, obviously, I was like, who can I bring on here to talk about things that we have similarities or like maybe similar upbringings or experiences. So I guess we should talk about how we met. What's your story on how we met?
We met creatively.
Okay. So my story is I was doing a fashion show for trap art, and I was going to have my own set and style it. And I made a post on Instagram. I'm like, send me, I'm like, model, send me, what is it?
Walking video or something.
Videos of you walking. Like basically like a casting. And Allie sent me her video. Baby. I remember what video it was too. Was you somewhere like at a dance or something?
Yes, I was. Yeah, see? That is wild. I was still at school. I was in college at the Black Excellence Ball.
I remember. You had on black?
It was like a little shimmery silver dress. It was very extra. That little ponytail.
I remember. And you sent me your walk, and I was just like, I don't know who I was talking to at the time, but I was like, I'm for sure. Like, I remember hitting you back like, yes. And I already knew when I seen you walk, I'm like, I'm going to give her own. Like, I was pairing people in two, but when I seen you walk, I was like, nah, like, she need her own.
And ate it down, baby.
Ate it down. Mind you, people tell you, like, you resemble Tiana Taylor, but I don't think I got that at the time, but it's crazy how I made you walk the Tiana Taylor song by yourself, because I'm a Tiana Taylor fan. And because of her style, and then like her just, like, you feel me, just, you know what I'm saying?
She can be like, well, wow.
Yeah, I like it. And so I was like, I want you to walk by yourself because I feel like you had that strong walk to do that. And I was really trying to be creative with the show and switch it up. Like, I had people dancing, I had the boys and the girls walking, and I had they were dancing. And so from there, I feel like we started to do. I just really fell in love with you as a model.
Yeah, that's what happened. We kept working together, and it was like, okay, Darren.
We did the shoot with the red.
And he shot it, and then after that, it was like boop, 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 boop.
Yeah, so I fell in love with you as a model.
We were joints at the hip.
Right, but it still took time, though, I feel like.
It did.
Because we started to work together. I was like, you my favorite model. I was like, you gonna go big. I was like, you gonna be on Billboard. Do you remember telling you that?
Yes, I do.
I was like, you gonna be on Billboard, and she was on a Billboard for Shea Moisture. I remember telling you, like, you're gonna be big. You're gonna be on billboards. Like, you just don't, stop whatever.
Pouring into me.
And then you really doing that. And so I feel like when would I say we became close?
I feel like maybe 2020 was like
2020
a shift of just like I was back in San Francisco full time. I think maybe we went to a party or somewhere. I don't know.
Oh, I had my birthday. Well, no, you came to my birthday party
Before you left.
before I left to LA.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I think that what I remember is I feel like our first connection was our relationships that we were in at the time. Like we were just like talking about it and being open. And I think at first we was like, making everything seem like we just like in a great way. Yeah. And then we start hanging out and then we start being more open. Like, girl, this is hell.
Listen,
I ain't happy.
That nigga.
So I feel like that's how we connected. And then from there, we just started to grow. And then, like, even with, like, the grief we share and everything. Okay.
It just grew. It was just, like, blooming and blooming and blooming. One seed and watered it.
Naturally. And I think what I could say is what drew me to you is your personality. I think I've always been a person that was, like, I wouldn't call myself loud, but it's like a ball of fun. Like, I'm not shy. I don't need to drink or smoke or anything to get it to...
Baby, spin it on your head.
Spin on my head. I'm in a party just sober and having a good time. And I think that we shared that and we just connected with, like, our personalities, like, our silliness, and just our experiences. And then, like, just really working together a lot.
Yeah, I'm trying to see, like, where was the shift at?
Like, what was that
when was
day?
that moment?
I don't remember.
I don't know. It just became a thing.
I think it just became a thing. Like, we'll be talking on the phone, and then, like, we'll hang out. I think, like, really, when we started going to L.A. together, that was, like, when we started.
That summer shift,
yeah. Maybe. I don't know. But anyway, so with that, I felt like, going back to my point, why I brought
Clock
you on.
in, zoom in.
Because I want you to share your story. So I want you to tell the people, like, who is Allie? Who is Alexandria? However you want to be, presented as. But
wow,
who
she
are
said
you?
my government name.
I did.
This might get deep.
This might, I didn't even say it. You said it.
All right.
This might get deep. No, for real.
Okay. As I said earlier, I'm always a little perplexed with this question because as a kid, I feel like I had a very cliche childhood, like sunshines and rainbows. But as an adult, it feels different to be an adult and an adult healing. Because I think when I became an adult, I'm like, okay, I'm an adult. Life is still great. But then when you become an adult on the other side and you're learning to heal from things that you didn't even know hurt you or scarred you or took away from you being able to be just a child or a kid, it feels different.
Yeah.
So if I'm reflecting on my childhood now as the person I am today, it was different. It wasn't all sunshine and rainbows, but it wasn't all rain either. It was actually great.
Yeah.
But great for me. It
For
may
you,
not have
because
been
I
great
was
for
about to say,
somebody else.
somebody else with that.
So my mom was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia right before she had my sister. Oh, no, right after she had my sister, maybe like 7 years later. So right before she had me, there was a lot of, she was sick and wasn't taking her medicine, maybe wasn't in the right place. So my grandparents and my aunts, they fought for me. So we got taken from our mom right at I was a fresh newborn.
I didn't know that. When you was a newborn, you got taken from mom?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
From birth till I was about 3 or 4, maybe, because my mom, the thing is, once after that, and these are just stories I'm being told, but as far as I could remember, my mom never missed a holiday. She never missed a birthday. I mean, Easter Sunday, meeting at a gas station, bring me baskets. At one point, she tried to steal me back. Like, it was those moments. And my sister is 7 years older than me. So she had a way different version of a mom than I had when we got older. Yeah. But I'll tread there soon. So back to living with my grandparents. And my mom fought for us. She eventually got us back after the passing of my grandfather. And my grandmother moved to Indiana to go take care of her mother. And then after that, my life started with my mom. And I lived in a single, one-income household, me, my mom, and my sister. it felt like just me, my mom, and my sister, but everybody lived with us.
Yeah.
And I mean everybody. My aunties, my uncles, my cousins.
Everybody.
Yes. That one uncle you like, hide all your stuff. He finna come in here and steal because he doing them drugs. The streets done got a hold of him. Hide it.
Everybody.
Like, everybody. And that felt great and, like, lively as a kid to feel like you're growing up with your cousins.
Yeah.
But in all actuality, it might have been a little dramatic.
Yeah.
Because even if I reflect on it now as an adult, now I love to be at home.
Yeah.
But I also don't invite people to my space.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I don't cook for people. I can cook, baby. I can cook good, too.
She cook vegan, too, y'all. I don't eat vegan.
I cook vegan.
But she cook vegan.
I do.
I'm going to tell y'all why she cook vegan.
Like that tea.
Spoken for.
Right. Yeah, so I could cook good. Even now, I just don't invite people into my space. And I've never had my own space.
Yeah.
Even as an adult, I lived in college. I had roommates. Got back here. I was living with my boyfriend of 14 years. We moved out together. Like, I've never had my own space until now.
And she enjoying that rent, y'all.
I am enjoying my rent. I mean, feet be kicked up, baby.
I ain't gonna lie, you be making me, like, kind of feel bad about not enjoying my rent because I ain't never at home, and I'm just like, dang.
You gonna get there.
Like, it's gonna happen.
You gonna be enjoying y'all rent, y'all mortgage. Yes,
Right.
God.
Right. Amen.
Amen.
Receive. So with your mom having, what do you call it, fully paranoid?
Paranoid schizophrenia.
Paranoid schizophrenia.
The DSM-5, though, categorizes it all as just schizophrenia now.
Okay.
But then she was diagnosed with that.
Okay. I feel like, so for our upbringings, like, you were able to see the brighter side on yours, I would say. For me, I was, like, living in, like, God, why the hell you choose me to go through this? I think I was able to be strong in it just because I watched my mom be strong with what she was going through. And, like, we talked about the other day, like, your mom could be beating on you, slapping you, cussing you out, not feeding you, and you still gonna love your mom.
You gonna want that
You still gonna want your mom.
And no matter how old you get, you gonna want that mom.
You gonna want that. I feel like the older you get,
the more
you want your mom. And I think that's why I grieve so hard my grandmother, because she was like my mom. She was the only one that I felt motherly love from and just like was getting that nurturing from and everything. And so now that I'm older, I'm 32, I'm like, anything happen, I'm like, I just want to call my grandma. And I'm just like, dang, you know. And it makes me also sometimes like be upset and frustrated at the relationship I have with my mom now, even though it's not bad. For me, I feel like I'm my mom's mom.
Yeah.
And
in the later years, I got there, too.
You know, you have to take care of your mom. And so it's like, I don't feel like I can have what I want from my mom, but I have to accept what I'm getting from my mom, understanding she is who she is. And sometimes that's just what it is. But instead of holding on to it, just accepting it, you know?
And I think that's the best part when you're an adult healing, because sometimes you want them to foster that child in you. But when you're adult healing, you're able to understand they were dealt their cards. They played them how they played them. You dealt yours. And now you have to decide if they're worth having in your life. And when you decide to have somebody in your life and you make that conscious choice, you choose to have the baggage that comes with them people too, especially when they're not on a healing journey. Yeah.
And I feel like for our parents and their generation, like healing and like mental health,
they
therapy,
think we crazy as hell.
They're like, I ain't need none of that shit. Give me my Smirnoff. Especially my mama.
Please, give me that ice.
No,
please.
seriously. And so I think now for us, it's harder because we like, why can't you just take accountability? Why can't you just...
And you want those answers that you just cannot get because the times were so different. Yeah. And it's changing vastly.
No, for sure. And I think one of the things that my therapist told me that really stuck with me, I think I shared with you, is like, my mom or like my sister, my upbringing, the people in my life isn't what's hurting me. It's my expectations of those people what hurt me. And when she said that, I was like,
clock your tea.
You dropping bars. I was just like, dang, I never had that perspective and never thought of that. Of like, then it made me think about like, what are my expectations? And I expect my mom to like show up and be a mom and like in a way of like loving me, calling me, making sure I'm good.
Oh, I miss those phone calls.
But I never had those phone calls. Like, even with my personality now.
But you know what? On the flip side, when I didn't want them. When I had them, I didn't want them.
See, but I never got them, and I wanted them. And it's because, like, even with having Kylie, my daughter now, I had to unlearn a lot of things and had to learn how to be affectionate and how to learn, you know, even my friends, how to say I love you.
And how to give a hug.
And how to give a hug. And
Please.
I know, because I just never received hugs.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time my mom said she loved me, the last time we gave a hug. I can't remember, like, hugs as a child. I can't remember being loved on as a child. Like, really, I just remember fighting from my life all the time and trying to protect my mom, which even played into a part of me growing up being in school, being this person that was always trying to fight for my friends. I just turned into this person where I felt like I had to protect everybody. I was always on fence. Because I'm nice, because I'm friendly and, like, goofy, I feel like people take that for weakness. Maybe how I looked, like, you know, I was lighter when I was younger, so I just feel like people always, like, just took me as just, like, soft and, like, they could take advantage of me. And then when I was going through at home, I'm like, anybody, you feel me, can get it. I'm like, you talking to my friend crazy?
Right. I'm
like,
bringing all this.
All of it, right?
So,
exactly. No, and I was carrying it. So tying that in with now with my mom, I had to learn how to love Kylie and hug her. And even now it's still weird. Like, she's so clingy, want to be on me. I'm like, okay, I love you. I'm like, okay, girl, go sit down. You know, it's just different for me. And but I never wanted her to grow up saying what I'm saying. Like, she didn't get that. And then with my mom now, like, because I am healing and healed, I be trying to do it. And I'm just like, it just feels weird. And I think for my mom, she's just gonna be like, what's wrong with you? Like, are you okay? You know?
But you know what? I hate to say it. You have that burden, and I don't even want to call it a burden because
but I still carry
it. It's really great when you are that person that can lead the way, even though it can get heavy when you lead the way.
Yeah, for sure, and I think
like
that's
that
why
older sibling burden.
Yeah, and I do feel like that even though I'm not the oldest, but that's why with my students, I'm always hugging them. I'm always giving them hugs. With Kylie, I tell her I love her every morning. We do affirmations. Like, I do a lot of the things that I never had and that I want her to grow up saying. Like, my mom used to do this before I got to school. My mom used to pray for me before I got the car, you know. Even when I had an attitude, my mom was, you know, so I want her to be able to have that. But I really...
She love it.
She do.
She
love
it. I can just envision her like...
She do. And sometimes she be trying to act like she don't, and I'll be like, I love you. I'll grab her face, and she be like, Mom, start laughing. But I just want to make sure that I don't skip those steps because I didn't have that. And so going back, I asked, or I'll say for me, I had to learn when I got older how to give my mom grace and forgive her for not knowing. Yeah. You know, because I think I was holding her to the expectation of knowing. Like, she knows she's supposed to do this, or she knows she was supposed to, you know, hear. And I didn't get to go to college at a university because my mom didn't this. Or, you know, I blame my dad, too, but I was with my mom.
And that's always the parent.
So that was the parent that caught it, you know. And even with her staying in a domestic violence relationship, I'm like, you don't care about your kids. Like, why? But not understanding until I got older, I got myself in a domestic violence relationship. I have a kid, and I'm struggling. I'm like, you only can do so much. You're really trying and you're really giving your all and hoping that your kid will understand that and be better than you.
Right.
And it took me a lot to get to that point to be able to accept my mom for who she is. So even now, I catch myself sometimes still being frustrated with my mom because I am. My mama calls. I'm human, and I think I still hold on to like wanting to have that motherly relationship, mother-daughter relationship, and then also just because I feel like I'm her mom, it's like, okay, where do I go when I need my mom? Yeah. And so I hold on to that with her. And my grandmother was that, which is why I grieved her so hard. Right. So I wanted to, like, even with you, like, do you feel like the relationship you had with your mom before she passed, is there anything you wish you would have done differently now that she isn't here anymore? Or are you, like, satisfied with, like, that relationship? Or, like, even do you wish you would have had certain conversations? Because with me now, I'm like, I'm working toward, like, being able to have certain conversations with my mom, even though I know it won't register to her or, like, she won't receive it in the way that I would like her to. It's still a step that I'll need to do for myself, you know? Okay.
That's a mouthful.
I know.
I'm finna lose a lash. I'm finna lose a lash.
Do we need some tissue?
We might need some tissue.
It might get deep.
I don't... Okay, I think it took me a minute to get to this place, too. I don't have any unresolved. Everything was left on the table. Like, this was my first time being a daughter to you. Yes, I do have two older sisters, one of which did not grow up with us. And then my older sister who did live in the household with me. We experienced you all in our own places, in our different places. And I did the best I could as a daughter for you, ma'am.
For sure.
And you did the best you could as a mother for me. This is my first time living this life, your first time living this life, and we tried.
Yeah.
And we tried hard.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lose no lash now. I ain't gonna get to crying because if I get to losing a lash, y'all gonna see me out here with the one eye. Okay?
I didn't put nothing on.
You smart. This one already hanging. But yeah, like I loved my mom and all of her flaws and all the things that I thought were flaws. And I didn't have to learn how to give grace. Mm-hmm. By the grace of God, I was born with it. Like, I was able to just experience my mom for who she was and know that while there were times where her illness got the best of her, that was not all she was.
I'm trying to hold it together.
I am too. That was not all that she was, And I do myself a disservice if I held on to everything that she wasn't. So I choose to accept everything that she was. Yeah. And that's just the way the cookie crumbles. That was my girl, though. Yeah. Didn't miss a beat.
When I hear you talk about your mom, it's inspiring because, like, you don't never bring up nothing that might have been, like, a negative. Like, even when you were sharing the story with me the other day, I don't know if you want to share that, but, like, you was saying.
My mama, one of her personalities got the best of that day. She almost laid me and my man out, okay? She jumped up with that knife, baby. That cup went flying. I was calling my sister, 919, come get me. Can't even dial 911 because I'm like, I don't want them to lay her down. Yeah. And the police ain't trained to deal with mental health. Right. Neither am I, but
no,
baby, don't lay her out.
Yeah, but even when you share that, like, how you laugh about it and how you... I guess because now you're on
the other side.
You're on the other side of it, right? But I think that's hard for people, and I think that like people hold on to that, and they're like we even have talks with people about their mom.
I'm a fan of this, y'all. Just mind y'all business.
We even have talks with people about their mom and how like they can't let things go, and I hear you like, but you gotta just understand. You gotta look at it from this perspective, and I think. Even though your mom had a diagnosis and you can kind of give a lot toward that, I think that's not even, like, your main reason. I think your whole thing is, like, she was just a human, and these were the cards she was dealt, and that was the best she could deal them out. You know what I'm saying? So, for me, it's, like, I guess I realize when I talk about my mom, like, I'm still, like, I have grace, and I understand, and I had to get that because I didn't understand because of... Like, my life I only knew struggle, and I think now with, like, even though I will call my life successful, I still have a lot of struggles, and it always reverts me back to my upbringing, and it's something in me that be like, what if I would have just been able to go to college? What if I could have pursued basketball? What if my mom or my dad would have, like, I always go back to them what ifs, and it's kind of like this blame factor that I want to have, even though I give them grace understanding. Like, my dad was 19 when they had me. My mom was probably like 20 or 21 or something. To me, even when I look at 19 and 21 now, that's a kid. Mm-hmm. Like, you grown, but it's still a kid. So I'm like, even when I think about I had my daughter at 21, I had Kylie, I was still outside. I was trying to find grandma to babysit.
Like, watch this, baby.
Yeah, it was like I was still like in college, still trying to pursue basketball. I went back to playing basketball 2 weeks after I had Kylie. Right. They told me I didn't need no stitches. I thought that was a sign from God to go hoop. And even with that, just being able to, like, look back and be like, dang, I couldn't imagine having 3, 4 kids. I couldn't imagine being in a relationship for 17 years, being beat on and abused and accused of doing drugs and all these things and just whatever else happened that we didn't know because we was kids. Right. I couldn't imagine. So I'm like, that allows me to look back at my mom and be like, she really did try. And then it makes me have, like, more empathy towards her as far as, like, you really, like, had a terrible life. You know what I'm saying? Like, my mom, she didn't graduate high school. Yeah. She didn't have her mom, my grandma. So my mom's mom is Chinese, and her dad is white. And my mom didn't.
Sorry, I had to say it.
That's racist, isn't it?
I mean, it's not. I took 5 years of Chinese. Don't do me.
Actually, you do say you can speak Mandarin.
Absolutely.
I can't, even though it's supposed to be in me. It's hard. The pronunciation.
It's very hard. There is 4 different tones, and sometimes if you say foot, you might say fish. I don't know.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's hard.
Too much. So, yeah, with that, the culture is very different. But my mom always grew up with, like, her black friends. She had black men, black friends, like everything in my and with my grandma. Like, I think there is like a little racism that naturally just come with the cultural. And I think that like even like my grandma used to have this African statue, black, like this, and every time I used to come over, she want to laugh already. I can laugh now, but she had me messed up. Every time I would come over, she would feel the need to pull out this African statue.
Maybe that was her way trying to relate to you.
But like I'm a child, and you have a black, literally black, and it's first of all, why the hell you got an African statue? That's what I think about it. I ain't never thought about why do you have that?
She said, my grandkids is black. I gotta figure it out.
That's crazy. Why do you have that? I've never thought about that. She pulled this out.
Granny got some explaining to do.
She always would tell me, like, you gonna look like this. Like, and it was cute. Like, she would tell me, like, this how you gonna look. That's shady.
That is shady.
And so,
come on. She would try it.
I forgot my point because I'm pissed off. No, but so that was like a part of like.
Cut the camera immediately.
I'm so mad because I'm like, why did you have that?
Yeah,
it was black, like
Granny,
this.
I can't save you on that one. You got some explaining to do.
Anyway, she would always pull that out and it would hurt my feelings as a kid because I'm like,
because you didn't know where she was.
I didn't know where she was coming from, but then I also knew like I'm like, what does this mean? You know. Anyway, going back to my mom, like it was just like very different. Even my grandma, she would tell me like, all of my Asian cousins went to Harvard.
Oh,
they all went to Harvard, and so that was like the standard, like Harvard. And so my grandma would tell me like, if you go to Harvard, I'm gonna get you your first car. I'm gonna do this for you. I'm gonna do that.
Stipulations that came with
promise me this better life if I go to Harvard. Luckily, I never was a materialistic girl ever because I didn't have nothing. When I started to get stuff, it was because I was working on my own. Or before my mom went to jail, she was hustling and being able to get it. But it was like...
And know how to do broke well.
You know, so it was like, know how to do broke well. And I was like, if I want it, I'll get it. You know, even my first car, like, I was working at McDonald's, my first job. And I was able to save money to get my first car. And so anyway, going back. But those would be the things that she would tell us. So with my mom, I feel like her not graduating high school, her hanging out with people that my grandma probably didn't think highly of, like, built that separation from now my mom don't have a mom. So my mom being a mom, she had to learn just from living life. You know what I'm saying? And my mom didn't really have that spiritual background. Like my mom believes in God, but even now I still feel like my mom I don't know how serious she take God. Like I even want to ask her, like she be saying
expressions of her faith.
I don't see it. And even she be like, oh, I'm gonna go to church and stuff, but I'm just like, do you really know? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I just don't know. And so even when we were young, like, just seeing the things she was going through and how it was affecting her. Like, my mom used to be like, I hate fucking kids. Like, you be, like, B words and this, you B words that. And my mom, no shit, my mom. You know, she was a kid trying to get it together.
I hate that I laughed.
But you have experience too, right? Your mom cussing you out.
Yeah, she cussed me out good. Real good.
See? And
it had a little choke to it, too.
And at the time, like, that was normal to me.
Yeah.
I'm, like, going to school, like, my mom just called me and be like, it's whatever, you know, not realizing as an adult, like, dang, like, you know, that's not okay. That's not normal. And so tying it back in now, looking back at her life, because I'm healed, I'm able to give her grace.
Yeah.
But for you, like you said, you just feel like you was born with it, with this understanding and with this patience of, like, this is who my mom is, and that's okay. But because your mom was still showing up, you was still receiving some form of a mom.
Yeah, I received her in all the ways at the times when I needed to receive her.
Yeah. Now,
in college, I was out there like a little lab rat, figuring it out.
Yeah.
Because nobody had went away. Like, my sister didn't go away for school. She did school at SF State. My mom went to Sac State, close proximity. I went all the way to L.A.
Yeah.
Why would I go to L.A.? I should have went down south.
But you didn't. Well, you should have
went a little further.
You should have went down south.
But my mom's, like, health complications always kept me closer. Even when after I graduated, I came back because I was like, I have to take care of my mom. I felt so guilty then. Like, she's not getting her medicine because I'm not there to do it.
Yeah.
And I have this personality where I always think that I can fix something.
Yeah.
Some things just meant to be broken.
Yeah, no, for real.
Step over that one.
I want to ask you because just knowing you as a person, and tell me if I'm wrong, like, you know, but I feel like even going back to the beginning with how you carry yourself is having it together. Do you ever feel, let me see how I'm trying to word this, because I feel like sometimes you feel like you have to hold it together for other people.
Yeah, I definitely, I think, yeah, I do. I do that now because I feel like people held it together for me so many times.
Yeah.
Like, I had an amazing childhood. I could call any one of my sister's friends and get $20.
Maybe I barely get $1.50, $1.50.
But like to go outside, you know. But you kind of had the burden of being looked at as an older sibling.
Yeah.
I was like the baby. It was like there are no bounds to the word no for you. Like that does not exist. And if your mama tell you no, call that daddy, because that daddy gonna call that mama and have convince her, girl, woo, that daddy gonna do some work. Okay. That's about all he was good for. He didn't give me the $20.
We didn't get on the daddies yet, but
skip off of him.
Well, I asked that because I feel like,
but yes,
but like for yourself, you know, I think I'm in a space where like it's okay that I don't have it together, and I think you feel like that too. But I think I show up in places and show it more. Like, 'cause I feel like you know me, so you know when I'm just not
out of loop.
You just know and you be like, okay, I'm gonna give her. You know how to show up for me and just give me my space or ask me, but not cry. Like, you know, but I'm gonna show up how I feel most times.
Right.
And I feel like for you, it's just always gonna be like you got it together. And I remember calling you one time, and I'm not sure if this was when you found out your dad had cancer.
It was the first appointment.
Okay.
I was getting in the shower.
You was
but
in
I
the
was
shower.
pissed. Boy, I was pissed.
And I was calling you, I think just to say, hey, what you doing or whatever. And you was like, hey, you know, trying to hold it together. And then out of nowhere, you just like, it wasn't together. And even then, you was like, low-key kind of like apologetic for not having it together. Like, you know, I'm not.
I do often say, like, oh, I'm sorry, my bad. Or, oh, I'm sorry. So most likely I was like, oh, I'm just so sorry, girl.
Yeah.
But they just got me so mad.
Yeah. So, like, I'm curious to, like, what do you think you can do to start, like, do you feel like you need to transition out of that?
I have. I feel like I have transitioned out of it. Now, I ain't going to go out in the streets and tell everybody I'm going through
Right,
things.
of course.
But I feel like I have transitioned out of, like, showing, even when for Dev's birthday, it's like, what's wrong with Allie? What's wrong? I'm here. I showed up, but I'm just not in the best spirit.
Yeah.
And it's okay for me to show up and not be in the best spirit today.
Yeah.
But I'm here.
Do you think that play a part with, like your friendships?
Yes. I think in my friendships, we all learn to be friends to each other, right? You start off with a foundation of the friend that you are, then you learn how to be the friend to the friend that you have, and in the season that they're in, along, like parallel to the season that you're in. And I think asking for the support that I need from my friends have done my friendships better. But then if I don't feel like I need no support and I'm just like in this whimsical world, y'all bring me back to reality quick.
Yeah.
You know, I meltdown at the lake.
Right. It was other
You
things.
done, all right. Please, we ain't gonna tell that to
leave
you.
that alone. But
leave that one alone.
Right. I think for me, what I've realized as a friend is that when I am going through something, you know, I'm like more of a I'm private when it comes to like telling my personal business to my friends when I'm in the moment. I like to I can speak about whatever. There's no boundaries, no limits after I done already got through it.
Right.
But when I'm in it, I'm a person that's like, when I'm going through something, I'm going to call my friends like, hey, how you feel? What you got going on? You need anything? Like, I'm going to be extra supportive and, like, try to be a servant and show up for my friends, because that now I'm, like, deflected. Now I don't got to deal with what I got going on or face what I'm got going on, because I'm going to worry about what you got going on. I'm going to show up for you and be there for you. But then what I realize is, like, I'm doing that for so many friends, even to the point where, you know, I often ask my friends, like, how can I show up for you as a friend? How can I be a better friend?
And I done started doing that.
What I learned from another friend, Taylor, she was like, I feel like you treat your friends how you wish to be treated. And I sat on that and I was like, dang, I do. Like, I show up for people. Like, even how I noticed, like, me in a relationship, I'm showing up like how I want to be treated. I'm treating somebody, literally, I'm treating somebody how I want to be treated. Yeah. But it's not not like to make somebody do it. It's not like manipulative, like, oh, I'm going to do this. So
that I can get this in return.
I'm just truly being who I am. But I realized, like,
that was me having a thought process like, dang, do I do that so that...
I think sometimes.
Probably.
I think sometimes. But then it's like we have the moments where we crash out now because we've been showing up for everybody else. Right. And we forgot about ourselves. And now we crashing out because, like, what about me?
Right.
But we neglected me because we was showing up for everybody else. Or I think because we allow people to have so much of us, now people don't even know that they're taking.
Oh, yes, and depletion is there, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've just transitioned out of my season of depletion.
You were, remember when we was in church?
I know, that's exactly where my brain just went, and I'm just like, I just feel like I'm just pouring out everywhere. And Pastor was like, well, you need to come back to church. I started coming back, but...
It's okay.
I done missed a few Sundays. I'll be waking up late.
I'll be waking up late. Sunday. We'll see you this Sunday.
You'll see me this Sunday.
All right.
Don't try to get me on the cameras and saying that.
It's okay. We're going to get you.
But I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
I'm going to be there because I'm going to stay out here.
Okay.
I'm going to stay out and open.
I ain't going to take business.
Yeah, don't tell my tea. Don't tell my tea, honey.
But no, back to what, so.
Back to being a friend.
Yeah.
Yes. I do think that now, this is in the moment realization that maybe I do show up for people in the ways that I wish to be shown up for. Yeah. But I don't feel like, the thing is, I don't feel like I lack the me that, I don't know, that I am in my friends because y'all all show up for me.
Yeah.
In the ways that I need it, in the ways that I don't even need it. Like, think that I need it, you know?
Yeah.
For example, you calling me and I'm just having a moment of breaking down, and while I'm breaking down in these tears, I couldn't form the words to pray, but you formed those words for me. You get what I'm saying? It's just like, I am so blessed to have the friendships that I do have because they pour into me, so good.
Yeah.
And God's time will be on time.
Yeah.
Because I was going to go choke that daddy. I was going to go choke that daddy in the back seat. It was going to be Bart and Homer Simpson. The only difference is I was going to be Homer. He was going to be Bart.
I feel like your frustration and anger, though, was because of how much you care.
Yeah, and I feel like we could have been past this.
And you feel like
already.
it could have been prevented a little bit, or like, y'all could have started a process.
Started radiation and been through radiation. Ooh. Now we're going through radiation. And it's like, dang, I want my summer, sir.
Yeah. I want to ask, with, like, because you lost your mom, what year?
2022.
2022. Because I lost my grandma 2021. Right. And so now with your dad, 2025, or did y'all find out last year?
The end of last year, so basically 2025.
Your dad finding out he got cancer. And could you still grieve your mom?
Oh, yes, I do. I'm in and out.
You in and out, and I feel like you do a lot of it in private. Right. And so I'm just curious, like, what part does that play with you still being in the midst of grieving your mom, and you and your sister having to, like, do everything y'all did for y'all mom, and like she was on the what is it called, the machine? The
breathing machine.
She was on a breathing machine, like life support, right?
Basically.
And y'all going through the whole life insurance thing, trying to figure that out. Y'all having to come out everything, and then now your dad is okay, right? But your dad has cancer, which is like a scary thing, and we always think about it can go either way,
right?
And so now y'all in this preparation because y'all like, okay, we went through this with my mom. Now let's prepare just in case for my dad. But you're still grieving your mom. How does that play a part in, like, this whole process with your dad?
I think they don't play a part, and the reason why it doesn't play a part is because they're two separate entities. Like, my dad is going through radiation. We getting out of cancer. Cancer gonna be gone. We gonna be in Jamaica next year. Okay.
Faith
is unshaky on this one. But and I think maybe too the relationship is different too. So, like, seeing your mom being wheeled away in the ambulance, and it feels like this is gonna be the last time, and it turns out to be the last time. It feels different.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like I wanted, and to not speak for my sister, but wanted our mom to wake up and tell us what to do. It's like, what can we do? But we are afforded the opportunity to have conversations that are, so I guess it do play a part in preparation.
Yeah.
Afforded the opportunity to ask him what you want, how you feel. Can we do anything to make you feel more comfortable?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have that, so we were kids.
Yeah.
Those 7 and 8-year-old, 2-year-old, whatever the age gap is, trying to make decisions. The doctor's like, take her off the machine. We're like, no. We're like, wake up and tell us what to do. Like, we didn't know.
Yeah.
And this time we know.
Yeah.
We could talk to him. It's a conversation. It's a safe space. And we are, like, the parents that we have, nothing's off limits. Be like, you want to be in a box or what? And he like, just burn me. Just go ahead, burn me.
My mama
up.
the same way. She be like, when I die, just cremate me. And I'm just like, but that's not for you.
Right.
I feel like that's for the people that love you. You gone now.
Right.
So let us like send you off the right way. But
yeah, it does. I guess it does play a part.
Yeah.
Because in a situation where there was no control, and we all don't have control over too much of anything.
Yeah.
But the way we look when we get to a place and our
Right.
attitude, that's
Barely
all we
that,
can.
yeah.
Barely that. And not feeling like you have no control, like nothing.
yeah.
To feeling like somebody could do something over here,
Yeah.
it feels completely different, but it does force us to prepare in other ways.
Yeah.
I said all that to say, yep.
I want to say, because even for our similar experience, like my grandma passed, and but my grandma passed was sudden. Like I'm literally talking to her on the phone. It's New Year's Eve, and I'm like, Happy New Year's Eve, whatever. She like talking to me. She like, you know what? I just want to tell you, I'm so proud of you and the woman that you become and what you're doing. I'm just so proud. And I'm thinking like, why are you talking like this? The last time I'm hearing from you. I'm like, okay, thank you, Grandma. She like, just promise me one thing. Promise me you're going back and finish school. I'm like, okay, I promise I'm gonna go back and finish school. And I'm like, I'm not going back to finish school.
Lying.
Lying, right?
I said a curse word.
It's okay. And my grandma was just like, okay, you promise me? I'm like, yeah, like, bruh, like I'm trying to go downstairs and do what I was doing. And so, talking to her, and then she called me back. She was like, how do you do this Zoom stuff? And make sure you sign on Zoom because we getting on church at this time. And so I'm telling her how to do it. And I was even getting a little irritated. I'm like, because she all the way in Chicago. So it's like, I can only help you so much. And then I told her I was going to get on the church Zoom, but I think I forgot. And then I'm going to a New Year's party with my ex. And
Pack him up.
Pack his up. Please. I'm going to the party with him.
Oops, this is no man slander.
We
can slander him.
This is not no gender wars, but you know what I mean. So anyway, we go and I'm like, my grandma, I ain't tell my grandma Happy New Year's because it's 2 hours ahead.
Yeah.
So I'm like, let me call her and tell her she's not answering. So I'm like, okay, they sleep. It's late. But I'm like, why my grandma call me? I'm thinking about it, but I'm not thinking about it. So we sitting there. My dad called me. I didn't answer. And it's like 2 minutes before the countdown. I'm sitting there. My dad called me. I'm like, why is my dad calling me? So I step outside to answer. And he called me. He like, your grandma just had a heart attack. I'm one of them people that was like, my grandma gonna live to 100 years old.
That's how I felt about my mom. She was the most resilient soldier I knew. I mean, surgeries every year, always hospitalized for something. If it wasn't diabetes, I don't know. It was her pancreas finna explode.
But she got past it all.
And got past everything. And COVID took her out. Raggedy A double snake COVID.
No, COVID was really a tough time because it took a lot of people out.
Took away from me a moment. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I was gonna get mad at COVID.
Yeah.
But yeah. So anyway, that happened, and then my grandma. That was like I never got to talk to her again. So it was like, it's like I guess that's a bittersweet moment because I got to hear from her, and she told me how she poured into me, and that's the last words I had from her. Yeah. And she left knowing, and she left with me knowing that she's proud of me.
Yeah, you comfort.
And I always tried to prove myself to my grandparents and let them know I'm going to be great. I'm going to be somebody, So to hear that is like peace. But then it was like to lose her and I still need her. I'm like, hold on, Lord. Like me and my grandma, that was my best friend. Right. And I didn't even get to see her or nothing in her casket and look like her. It was that's the hardest thing I ever went through in my life. Just my grandma passing away. I've never experienced anything. I thought I would never get over it. Like, I've never went through something so traumatic. And I grew up losing friends left and right to gun violence. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, I'm like, oh, okay, when people pass, I don't really cry. Like, you know, but when my grandma passed, I damn near wanted God to take me too. Like, it was like a lot. And so with your dad getting cancer and how y'all going about it now, my grandfather, he just didn't want to be here no more. He lost his other half. You know, my aunt explained to me, it's like you got two wings and you're trying to fly with one wing. And so my grandfather was just ready to go, and taking care of him and seeing him in pain and trying to, I was at a point too where I'm like, dang, I wish I could call my grandma. Like, what do I do? Even when it came to cooking for my grandfather, he only liked what she had.
Right.
So I'm cooking stuff and he's looking with his nose turned up.
He said it don't taste like hers.
He just was really like missing her. And so with that whole process, I thought I was going to be better because I'm like, okay, I'm preparing for him to pass away. And he's talking about it, and now he's getting sick, and it's like, I'm preparing so when he passes, I'll be okay. I was angry when my grandfather passed. I was pissed off. Went on Instagram trying to fight. You know, I was.
Mind you, I was ready to ride that down.
You was riding that down.
Cause how you go,
girl?
No time will be dealt for that one. I almost called her a peasant.
But yeah. So just with that, right? So to tie this in, I think now with me, all of those experiences with just the whole everything we talk about, like our parents, our upbringing with the grief, like when me giving my yes to God, I feel like that has opened my heart up to be more understanding and to have more grace to the life experiences. And I think my perspective now is that life is going life. Life going life. Life going do what it's going to do. And you can't.
Get in that hamster ball and roll with it.
You cannot stop life. It's crazy. You can't stop life. But you can control how your mindset. So what I'm learning, the book I'm reading, Battlefield of the Mind by Joyce Meyer, go get that book. The battle is in your mind.
Go ahead and sponsor her, Miss Joyce.
Miss Joyce, I've been telling everybody about that book, Miss Joyce.
Come on.
The battle is really in your mind, and it's really your perspective, and even just being in the Word, knowing that God is telling you, He's giving you the armor to be equipped for what's going to happen. He's telling you that life is going to happen. He's telling you got to fight.
But you're going to get through it.
But he's telling you that he's with you. He's telling you that he's going out before you for the fight. You know what I'm saying? So just to stay strong, really. And then even he tells us when we are weak, we come to him and get the strength. You know, and I just feel like we're overly equipped, but we let that go over our head. But for me, what I've been trying to do is really
that momentary.
Yeah, feeling. For sure. Because we're still human, right? And we're still dealing with life. Like, we can't not deal with, like, we still have to deal with it. It's just learning about how to with God. And for me, my whole life has just changed, like, since I gave God a yes, and just knowing that, it did, that I'm not alone. But then understanding that
you gonna go through some stuff.
It's harder. Life kind of come at you a little bit more when you with God. Understanding that obviously the enemy don't want you to be with God.
It's a little test.
It's a test.
Your testimony.
And it's an attack, you know, but it always works out for your good.
Yeah.
And so with me, when things happen, I try to keep that in mind. So I know when we met, I remember you were telling me, like, you was always this person that was going to church in L.A., you was in it, like, and then you kind of, like we all do, fall off a little bit.
Fell off a little bit, but not off. But what I will say is when my mom was passing away and stuff, that table was shook, honey. Yeah. That faith was rocky. Yeah. Oh, that faith was rocky. I didn't think the sun was going to come back out.
Yeah.
Because in those moments, like, you're like, my lights just went out.
Yeah.
And PG&E ain't up to turn it back on. What is going on?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, definitely.
But seeing you now and understanding, like, you've always had God in you.
Yeah.
Even for you to be able to just have grace towards your mom and your parents on how they are, even now. You know what I'm saying? And how you show up. Like, you exude, like, the fruits of the Spirit. No, seriously, you do. And I think that speaks a lot. And I feel like even with me praying for you when I gave you that call and you was going through it, it was because you set the tone when I called you and my grandfather passed and I'm having an anxiety attack and literally can't do nothing. You could, it was like, I don't know, I'm just gonna pray. And you started praying for me, but that was us building even deeper into our friendship and our relationship, you know, and our connection spiritually, because I think that's important with any relationship.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's it took a long while for me to be expressive in my faith.
Yeah.
And I think I'm still learning because there are things that are just so sacred to me.
Yeah.
Me and God's connection is like this.
Yeah.
And it's hard for me to be expressive before I'm sure in the relationships that I have around me.
Yeah.
In that way.
That makes sense. You're protective of that.
I'm very protective.
Yeah.
Even I'm very protective.
As you should, just as you are with your loved ones.
Exactly.
Protective. So with God having that personal relationship, being protective of that is important, especially with like the way the world is now. You know, so just tying that in, right?
Yes.
But I think going to the very beginning of our conversation, I think that's why we're able to be at a point now where we are best friends. And I think even when I started calling you best friend, it was weird.
And we was in Jamaica.
It was so weird. And I'm like, I only got one best friend.
And I'm like, I only got one best friend too. And look like we just both got a second one.
And you like, man, we best friends. It was like that. But for me, it was like the alignment. And I definitely feel like it was divine. I definitely feel like it was like God placing us in each other's lives. So that is why I brought you here today.
Yes.
And I do appreciate you being open and like, because I know you are a person that's like, in order to know you gotta be close to you, gotta be able to like have that personal relationship with you. It's
probably gonna be some jaws on the floor in my business. Just mind y'all business and like her video and comment and subscribe.
No, please. And the reason why I wanted you to do it on here is because I know like you have so much, even that's a little bit what we just talked about, but you have so much more that could help others. You know what I'm saying? So this won't be the only episode you come on, but I do appreciate you for coming.
Thank
you
you
can
for
tell the people
having
how
me.
to find you and how to book you for modeling.
Okay, period. Hey, y'all can find me on Instagram at Allycat, ALLYKAAT. I'm a little extra, so that is ALLYKAAAT.
Allycat.
And y'all might can find me on TikTok too by the same thing. Don't forget to hit my email in the bio. Go ahead and email me for bookings. I am going to be hitting the stage soon, so acting jobs are open as well.
You are. We can't promote it because the show is tomorrow. But when we come, I'm gonna let you know how it went, how it was, because we nervous. But anyway, I love you. I appreciate you. Thank y'all for tuning in to This Might Get Deep. That feels so weird. Thank y'all for tuning into the podcast. Go like, comment, and subscribe.
Hello, period.
Don't listen to me say it and don't do it.
Y'all better do it.
Don't have me waste my time doing this
Drop
podcast.
a comment.
All right. I love y'all.
This Might Get Deep. I'm trying to just audition for the
I should come up
song.
with a theme song.
Yeah, you need a song. Period.